Welcome to Caticlan Airport. This is a short video put together by a resident of the island who feels that the journey from Manila may be a bit complicated and stressy, even for the most frequent global trekker. You're now in the arrivals area and you will be accosted by porters. Choose one and give him your baggage claim stub. The baggage has to be literally manhandled off the aircraft hold and pulled to the claim area. This may seem quite chaotic, but the guys are used to it, and it only takes 5 minutes to retrieve it, especially if you point it out to your man. While you're waiting for your baggage, don't forget to fill in the tourist information sheet in the terminal. This helps the island to know who is arriving, where they are from and where they are staying. Okay, so now you have your luggage and have left the terminal building. There are now two options. If you are staying at one of the swanky hotels, Discovery Shores, Fridays, etc., there will be a representative from the hotel waiting just outside the airport building with your name on a board. For those of us not paying for this privilege, it's slightly more complex. Tell your porter you need to get to the ferry. They will take you up the road to the tricycle transportation area. The airport porter will load up the tricycle. You need to pay 50p for the tricycle for up to 3 people. The ferry costs 25 pesos, an environmental fee 50 pesos for each person. The ride to the ferry port takes about 3 minutes. In fact, it is possible to walk, but for a small amount, why bother? It's literally out of the airport, across the road, and you are there. Oh, and don't forget to tip the airport porter 20 pesos minimum to do it, depending on the amount of luggage and how helpful he's been. You could give a maximum of 50 pesos. When you arrive at the pier, make sure to buy a terminal fee for 50 pesos each. The porter or guard will point it to you. As you enter the building, there will be a security check, which often means a luggage search. Once again, there will be a different set of porters at the ferry port. Strong advice here is to use as many as you need. They not only take your bags from the tricycle driver, they will negotiate security and load up the ferry. Before you get on the boat, you'll need to write your name in a passenger logbook. Walk through the ferry port and you'll be faced with the crystal blue waters, fluffy clouds and the island in touching distance. Depending on the wind direction, which magically changes in May and back again in November, the ferry will either dock at the main port on the island at Manok, or the smaller one on the other side of the island called Tambisaan. If you are being met on the island, make sure they know which destination. The ferry ride takes about 10 minutes across a sometimes treacherous stretch of open water, blue and tranquil on some days, green and choppy on others, but they all make it, and so does your luggage on the route. Eventually the ferry docks on the island and passengers are encouraged to step onto dry land. And now for the third and final porter. Just as important as before, make sure you use the eager guys waiting for you, because you won't want to carry heavy bags from the roof of the ferry across the wobbly pathway. Just pay 50 pesos and let the boys do it. You now have 3 choices of transport. Number 1, get a tricycle, and number 2, get into a multicab, which is basically the only 4-wheel transport on the island, or number 3, if you have someone to pick you up. The tricycle can be hired for 100 pesos and will be able to go directly to your hotel or the centre of the island, or a multicab bus can be hired for 250 pesos for the whole vehicle, or just 10 pesos per passenger. Remember, this is a bus and may not stop where you want to go, unless of course you have hired the whole van. And that should be the end of the trip. Sometimes fun, sometimes frustrating, often hilarious in its third world quirkiness. Quirky it may be, but you get there in the end, and it may only take 2 hours from Manila to your hotel room. Enjoy your vacation.